Check 1 2 1 2. Yes, it is Mr. Rob Flag. We're going to get started here in about 2 more minutes. Rob. Love you, brother. Can't you tell ya? Let's go. Oh, it's dark. It's major dark. I need to get some light shine. Let's see. What are we going to do here? What lights are we going to use? I don't even know what lights to use right now. Let me see here if this works. Hey. So I do this. And there we go. How's that? Oh, there we go. Look, there's a human being there. That's pretty cool. Let me turn this down some just a tad bit with the old musico. Guys can hear me good? Andrew, that's Rob. Rob and I are old gaming buddies, business buddies. We've done just a little bit of out of everything, if you will. And we're here tonight to sort of do some trading, have some fun. Let's get rid of this here. I think we can get rid of that right on stream. We're going to do the webcam, move it right about there. There we go. We're moving it. Can you guys hear the music all right? Is it too loud, over commanding? Hydrate with some iced tea. Pop that right into my little controller there. Let me see, what do we want to play now? Let's do some mood music. Let's get some electronica in here. That's not really it. Let's do that. You can't hear any music at all? Not right now. What about now? It's coming. It's coming. It's almost there. Yeah. Andrew, if you want to jump into the VC with me, we can go into Crypto Ronin's VC if you'd like. Now, is that super loud? I guess I could turn it down on my side. There you go. There we go. All right, let's get into the live screen, baby. We'll bring it down. We'll shorten this up a little bit. Right about there. All right, let's see if we can get the... There we go. too loud. All right, everybody. So we're here tonight. Kind of go into, yeah, if it's too loud on my side, because we may not be able to hear a lot of it out there, the music wise, but we're working on that process. You're there. Okay, let's see. Oh, you're in crypto. You're in crypto Ronin, right? Bottom. Nope. All right, let me go into crypto Ronin. See if that'll work. There you go. What's up, my buddy?
What up, Max?
Good. That works. We're here. We got the infamous Drew. What's up, my buddy?
What's up? You on the bonker chart right now?
I sure am. I just pulled it up just to kind of fuck around for a few minutes and talk here for a second. I'm going to turn down the music just a little bit on my headphones. I don't know if I can do that without killing it there, but yeah. We'll probably drop down a little bit. You'll hear like a little tinge inside the stream. Maybe not even much. All right. So tonight is about the live stream event of doing some trade action and moving on coins and dealing with those kind of things. I'm going to try to build a few things. I keep looking around my microphone because it's in my way of my other computer. Oh, there we go. And pull this up here on this screen just to make sure nobody else can see my passwords. I'm not doing too bad. Our portfolio's holding pretty nice. A few small kicks to the curb in a way. We lost a few friends. We lost a few families, if you will. I think I lost a cat somewhere. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, for real. But
Go ahead.
So, what do you think about the bonker chart right now? Because I'm not really a trader, don't have much experience, but I think the volume's slowing down around that 300K area.
Yeah, most definitely, and it does. You know, when I look at charts, there's a couple different things that you can definitely do when you're starting to look at charts, right? And the first thing is you got to know your time zones. You got to know what time areas that you want to be in, right? The timing of the chart will tell you a lot about the time that you want to trade. You know, you can get a good feel of a 1 second chart. I mean, but it's so sporadic, right? It's going to move. It's going to move quick, right? You got a lot of them. So if you're trading a 1 second chart, you're never really going to get the prices that you're looking for. I like to have a little bit of a macro look. Even on a 5-minute chart, you're going to be trading over the next 15 minutes. A lot of these scalp traders, they kind of like be at that 5-minute chart time. 15-minute charts, you're kind of looking at a price movement and price action of about an hour or two, right? You always think of about a time times 4, right? So you're trading a 1-minute chart, you're trading 5-minute trades. You trade a 5-minute chart, you're trading 20-minute trades. You trade a 15-minute chart, you're trading over the next hour. You're kind of looking at the action there, right? You trade a 4-hour chart, now you're looking at 16 hours to 24 hours. And that's where you're kind of looking at that perfect balance of timing over movement, right? Then, if you're on that 4-hour chart and you are looking at those things, your view is it's sort of a macro look. Now, before I kind of tell you anything more than this, what we're trading in and what this thing that you're doing here, Drew, and what we're going to be talking about is trading what we refer to as price action, right? We're not using indicators. There's no indicators. Volume is sort of an indicator, but really of just only price action movement, right? How much volume, how much liquidity is coming in. That make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, bro. I'm trying to get to a quiet spot. Hold on.
Okay, don't hurry. So the other part of this is learning how to read a naked chart with simple things. And one of the simplest things that you can work with right off the bat is support and resistance. Support and resistance is probably the strongest tool that you can learn to use almost immediately right off the bat. And so we can pick any chart. So let's do this. Let's just pick one of the charts. Let's go to gainers and losers. And let's pick off something. Let's see. Let's just pick something. There's 5.4 million cap right there. Let's just grab this one. Its age is only 7 hours old. I think I'm gonna throw up when I see this chart here. Yeah, see, so on a 4-hour chart, it looks like this is gonna come straight down, right? That's all you're looking at. So let's pick something different. Let's pick something a little bit of age to it. There's 40 minutes, 31 million in 40 minutes. I'm gonna be sick on that one too. 520, 30 days. Here we go. Let's look at this one. 30 days. Move quest. Look at that bad boy. That's like that's a slow, steady pace upwards. It looks like. Let's get this thing all the way around. You can kind of see where it's at. Let's break it down to a 15-minute chart, and we're gonna pull out. This thing has a huge value trend going up. It definitely has a value. Right? But we want something with a little bit more movement around, just so we can look at a few things here before we start talking about support and resistance. Because even if I go down to 5 minutes, it's going to still look kind of creepy. Let's go back in. Let's find something. There's 1 month, right? 40 million.
That chart looks crazy. Like
I know, right?
The whole scoop upwards. You see that?
It looked like somebody sprinkled a whole bunch of Viagra on that motherfucker, man. All right, let's pull out on an auto chart. We're on a 5 minute. Let's pull back to 15 and kind of look.
Yeah, so like with
down.
meme coins, would you say like on the first meme coin pump, like let's say for the human psychology, the trading psychology behind it, would you say that the first pump people are watching like 100K, then 200, 300K, all the way up to the million, and then if they see an area where there's a big sell-off, they're just gonna Jeet the whole bag?
Yeah, this is a coin that's let me see. It's 1 month old, right? So this is a pretty good area to kind of be in this point. This first phase, right, this deviation of movement is from the excitement of everything. Like, yay, pump to the moon, let's fucking go, right? And I can probably tell you, just by looking at this chart, see, Mr. Miggles, it's got a Telegram, right? It's got a Twitter, it's got a website. We go look at the website. There it is. This is a Canvas special, right? We know it because we've been in it, right? This is definitely not something from Panther Pilot, but Mr. Wiggles is pretty cool looking, right? They got a Twitter. I bet you we can go into Twitter. I would probably personally say, by looking at the chart right now and where they're at, if there is anybody they're going to be raiding. Let's have a look. What am I doing? That's creepy. Telegram. Here we go. All right. Let me bring these little buggers over here so you can see them. Join channel. You just like that cat, don't you?
Wait, buy on Sex, it said. We'll scroll back down a little bit.
What's that?
Scroll back down a little bit, because I saw a section that said buy on Sex, like centralized exchange.
Oh, I don't know. Where was that at?
On their website.
Oh, on their website. Let's go to their website. Oh yeah, buy now. Oh, that's pretty cool. But no, thank you. Uniswap.
Oh, are they on Ethereum?
Yeah. Okay, so this is a cute little website, right? Cute little thing. But what I'm trying to show you right now is this something referred to as price action. I'm going to turn down this music even further. I got to find a way that I can mute it in my headphones, but not to everybody else. We'll have to work on that. All right. So the best way to find price action and support and resistance. So you got to think of two things, right? There's a high, there's a low. And so whatever channel you're looking for, we can use this tool right here, the little bar tool, right? If I drag this up, I'm looking for the high. Now, that's crooked as shit. How do you uncrooked it? Well, if you hold shift, you click on the side, and you hold shift, it automatically give you a straight line, right? And then you can grab and put it where you want. So we're going to grab the top zone right here. And we know that the pump fund time, right? This first deviation here, right to about here, I'm saying that stuff starts to fade off right back on the 27th of July. Right to about, I'd say here, this is where we start. Here's the realness of the psychology, right? So we're going to bring this all the way down over here, and we're going to create what we call a top, right? this top here. Going to come all the way across. Let me grab it there, hold shift to there. And now we found the top, and now we want to find the bottom. Let's kind of bring this in just a little bit more. We can click on the bar and hit C, hit Control C, and then Control V. That'll give you another one, and you drop it down here. Right? That's about the bottom, right? So anytime you have price action coming up and it's underneath an area, this is resistance. It's going to resist going through. And as this comes down, this is support. This is going to support the process of the floor. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So,
I see it. Because it's trying to retest it 2 or 3 times.
correct. So you see it that, right? So these lower lows is depicting what we refer to as a trend. So here we can clip onto there and come down to here. But another little trick is that if you hold control down, it'll snap and magnetize. You see that little magnet right there? It'll smack the magnetation right there. So I'm going to grab that. So you can see a trend is depicted by lower highs and lower lows for a downtrend, and higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend, right? So we see that the uptrend comes down, pads around. It's staying sort of in this channel, right? We could probably even really depict the new level is right about there, since this is really like kind of a hard stop. Anytime that the level goes above or below, referred to as a deviation. Now, support and resistance isn't about a single line. It's a zone, right? So we can kind of see that the zone is from right about there to right about there. Almost like 8 million market cap up there to up there. Now that's a lot, right? Because look how big this is. This is 48 fucking million, right? This is on a 4-hour chart too, over a period of, I'd say, what's that, 27th to the 20th, so almost a month to here. So this is a lot of movement. They have volume, they have the transactions, they got the liquidity. Liquidity is still kind of low for 41 million, but still, it's 1/40th, right? So the point is that when you're looking for support and resistance areas, there's one last thing that we got to talk about, and that's the mean. Now, the mean, as we know, is mean. I always like to put this one as an orange one, right? So we're going to grab that, we're going to go orange, shrink, and we're going to put that in the middle. Now that you have your high and your low and your mean, now the mean, of course, should be almost smack dab in the middle, 15 million, and say 48 million, right? So what is that a difference of? Like 33 million in there, so about 17 up from there. So it's pretty damn near close, but you can kind of see where everything's sort of vibrating around there. When you're doing price action and you're trading and you're just using just support lines and resistance lines, support being down the bottom, resistance up here, you can sort of tell where stuff is going to go, right? And as you draw these lines on higher time frames, like if I go to a day, you think it changes much? It changes a little, but the lows are the lows and the highs are the highs. You see what I'm saying? So let's say if I go the opposite way, if I go down to 15 minutes, it's the same thing. I'm going to bring back in auto. But because I've gone down to a lower time frame, I can kind of see the finite of the transactions here, right? So I can see where my 4-hour resistance is, because even time frames have resistance and support zones. So on the 4-hour chart, this 48 million is the high. But if I go down to the 15-minute, right, we'll go find that high there. See, there's the high right there. But in a particular time frame of 15 minutes, if I'm looking for the next hour, I can kind of see like there's a whole bunch of zones that I can put myself into, you know, that I know that'll get retested. And so I can start looking at like in between the action. If I even go down to a 5-minute, it's the same thing. We know that that green line is the 48 million zone, right? But again, there's a lot of swing trading. Look at all this little stuff that's happening here on this 5-minute, right? And that's a lot of movement. If we grab the measurement tool, and if I just say, okay, this is the mean of the 4-hour, like that little injection right there, that's huge. Once it's settled above it, we know that it's not really because it hasn't been tested for a long time. If I would have done a buy there, I could have easily said that this whole channel here also has a mean in it, which would be right in the middle, right? So if I just put a line in the middle and I put a price action, I did a buy at that point. Let me grab the measurement tool right at that point. and I go right to there. That's 22%, right? Now, again, at these higher marks, it has to go, higher market levels, it has to go really, really super far for you to get some good price action on it, right? Some good movement. But the concept here is that you would trade more money to make it move. So if you had $1,000 that you were trading there, and it would move this kind of process over a period of time. But if you went to your green zone, because this would be the golden area, you would easily made 50% on your money, right? I'm looking to always make about 50% on mine. There's other people that you can make a lot of money by just going these short little terms. You know, I try to do some day trading. I don't try to swing trade too much. But if you can scalp, you can get out. There's a whole bunch of different ways to trade these particular trades. But again, this is on the 5 minute. So what would that have made you if we came right up? I would have probably stopped right about here at this level in the middle. I would have made 38% on my money. If I traded $1,000 at that point, I would have made $380 at that point. You see? Now, the opposite is true when you're looking at, well, what happens if it falls, right? We call that the risk to reward ratio. And we'll talk about that much later. But tonight, I'm just sort of in here kind of, you know, get out some information, practice with some of the stuff that we have, streaming again and being back in the system, using the cameras again. I had to put the fan on. Is that fan too loud in the system? Do you hear it at all?
I can't hear the fan at all.
Good, because it's hot as hell in my office right now.
No, that's how it is at my house too. If like to speak in the spaces, I have to turn off the AC and the fan, and it's just so hot.
Oh yeah, I get you. All right. So,
But yeah,
go ahead.
also, what's something to think about too is like I've been thinking more about this. Is like even in a bull market, you see more red days than green. So if you can trade and do like shorting and stuff too, you could probably make a bunch of money off of that.
Yeah, and again, you know, like back when I was trading derivatives, shorting, and all that stuff, that's more altcoins. Selena doesn't do that, and Solana doesn't do that. But I was trying to stay with that concept. Man, let me tell you, when you get a good understanding of support and resistance and price action, if you're watching this after the fact, 'cause I know I only got 2 viewers right into the moment, but you know, if you can find a good positive reaction to learning how to read naked charts and learning how to read price action, support and resistance, you can literally climb a swing trade mentality with scalping capabilities pretty quickly. I mean, something deviating past a particular line isn't going to be too much. When it gets to a line, and you know that you're not just about the line, right? Because you wouldn't know. Like right now, I would do a buy on this one. It's going to come back and retest, and it's going to go completely up. That's why in most of these charts that I read, I can usually tell you within a pretty big degree of success, you know, how it's going to go. Probably wouldn't go that high in this area because this is the high for its channel that it's in. So it's probably going to be something more down around in this area here. So it'll probably come back, retest, and then come back up in here. And then from here, it all really depends on the volume. You can see there's more volume that's happening here at this point. So we're getting this little push as it slowly drops in. But again, it's all learning how to read it from price action and working with just your lines. You don't really need a lot of tools here. If I kill all these, let me delete all these. Wrong one. There is, you know what we should do for you is so you see what's going on. Because you're watching the stream, right?
Yeah, I'm in the voice chat on the TG and also watching your stream in the top corner.
Yeah. So what I can do, because there's a little time delay there, what we should do, I don't know if it'll mess with the packet at all. We'll see. Let me see if this will work. I'll go in and I'll share my screen and I'll do screen, what am I doing? Screen 3. Nope. Screen 2. Nope. Screen 1. And share. Right? And you see my main screen right there, right?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, good. So this way you can see when I'm talking directly to you in the process. And the other thing too is, you know, we should hold these while we're streaming and doing this inside the VC and having everybody in talking to us and all that kind of stuff. That'd be fun as well. We should get Rob in. Can you put the Telegram inside? I don't know if you use Telegram, Rob, if you're still here with us. I don't think he may be because you're still watching, right? He may have. I may have bored him to death. I may have murdered him by accident.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rob in the chat in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like what we were talking about earlier with the psychology behind it, the all-time high is 48 million. So
Mm-hmm.
it might retest, and if it breaks 50, it's gonna shoot for like 75 or 100. But if it can't break it, then where do you think it would go? Like back to 25, 30 million area?
And see, that's a great question. And so, in order to do that, you need to sort of start talking about the psychological value and trading mathematics of psychological trading, right? So, this is where technical analysis comes in. So, Fibonacci is a process of utilizing certain numbers to depict price action patterns. And there's just a lot of different numbers involved. You know, the Fibonacci mentality. There's some stuff will be on the website as well. But if you click on the Fibonacci tool, and what we're going to do is, because we're looking at this trend value that's going up, right? So we're looking, let's just grab, let's stay on the four hour chart, but we got to find a low and we got to know the high, right? So where we're going to start at, we're going to start at this really super low over here. We're going to click on the Fibonacci tool, and we're going to start right there, and we're going to click once, and then we're going to draw up to a line where that green line that you can kind of see, that 0.382 is right at the top, and I'm going to put this line right about there. And I'm going to extend it past because I want to know where it's going, right? So let me see if I can show you this. This green line is right on top. I think I even messed that up. 1.32, right there. I want that. There you go. So the 0. I want the top and I want the bottom, right? I want the top and I want the bottom. Where can it go in deviation up after? That's great, but I'm looking for this trend line and see where it's at. Now, as I drew from there to the top, I want you to notice, look at these candle wicks, right? Boom, hits it. Boom, hits it. Where do you think this is going to do? Boom, smack it. So this is considered a resistance trend line that's happening right now. Okay, I want you to think about it that way. And where is this price? Refer to this as the golden triangle. This little beautiful section right here is where a lot of movement happens, and then once you start piercing out of it and really start to move, once it starts to set more highs in here, it's going to now continue. But where's it going to go? It's going to, if it pierces, if it still follows here, comes in, it's going to come back down to another level there, right? And it's going to keep going. It's going to, as this right now has been staying underneath this trend line. If it settles above, it has more of a chance to come up and pierce, and this is where, as it pierced them through here, I would have bought at this level, right? If I bought at that level right there, because this is a 4 hour chart, and I know that it's going to go, if it's going to settle there, I'm making 23%, right? If I was a scalper, I would wait for it to hit this line, and I would take my profit, right? Or I would take a certain amount of profit, we call the TP1, right? So the TP1, you take about 50% or 60%, whatever you want it to be, and then you let it go on in like moonbagging kind of mentality, but you let it go on and do what it's going to do. So if it does go, if it does pierce this, we can look at where would it go from this point on, right? So if it does test up at this 48 million, because it's not the all-time high, right? The all-time high was the 103, right? That's fucking amazing. But where we'll come back to that, if it does, and it still has this value trend line going upwards, right? So what we can do is now we can start looking at drawing. Let's see if I can grab one from here. We'll go like that. And we'll go. Let's see here. See, it's already proven its pennant. So this is referred to as a pennant, a bear pennant, right? And this bear pennant is this little triangle that's here. It creates buying power here. We would have bought right here. So you see how the pennant even proves from the top of that line to the first touch, wherever you can make that touch happen, where price action is at. It pierced through that. Now, if you could also take it up here and do something like that, but that doesn't really make sense to do that. You're looking for something that has a little bit of resistance. So you get these 3 soldiers that come in, and they've already proven. So you would have made 20% on your money the moment that this one cleared off. You would have made 20% of your money. Right there.
Yeah, that's cool. Because it's like, even if it tested and it comes back down, if you sell it at the right time, you can just buy more tokens. But then
Mm-hmm.
if like, it's really all about your goal. If your goal is to get more tokens, you end up like, you would try to sell if it retests the high and hopefully it goes down, you can get more. But if you're just trying to profit, you can also just sell at the same areas too.
Exactly. So the big one is, if you're, it all depends on what kind of trader you are. I just put out a video on like, what kind of trader are you? So go watch that. If you're watching, go watch on YouTube. But going in and talking about what kind of trader you are is important. You know, like a scalper is somebody who you're taking trades and you're scalping off the moment you feel like there's deviations against you, or there's movement against you, or it hits a zone and does like a little pull off. You'll scalp off, like you'll let it come up, you'll hit, and you may not take the whole thing. You know, you can. It's not just all in and all out. You know, there might be, you might take 50%, right? So let's just pretend with that for a second, right? Let's just play with that just for a second here. All right. Let's say we did get in at this candle. It settled above. It's a 4-hour candle. It settled above. You can actually break this back down again, and you can start looking on the shorter time frames exactly. I mean, like exactly where that shit's breaking in or breaking out of, right? So where was it? That was that candle right there, right? Because we drew these trend lines in and kind of made that happen. So now we're at 38 million. We bought it. See what it did? It came back and retested and jumped and came back up again. So, but this is on a 5-minute chart, right? We did a 15-minute chart. It would sort of show us the same thing. It would give us a little bit more rail here. And this is 2 million, right? This is 2 million coming off of there and going up. Again, this is a lot of action that's happening here. But if we bought the moment it pierced through, and if it did have a deviation and bought, it would probably still go up. But let's say we bought right here, right? We don't need to, we're not trying to make the trade happen. But right now you would be at like 12% profit margin, right? And a 12% profit margin, it's not, it doesn't seem like it's a lot, because you always want to have risk to reward. But a good scalper will know that if he had other, let's see, if he had other areas of retention here, right? Because that we know that this, let me pull it, boom. Let me grab the bar, please, thank you. That we know from previous action that this level seems to be a big level right there, right? So we can immediately see that this becomes a resistance level. So we would wait for it to get close to this, and this would be close enough, and I would pull my 12% off. Now, out of that, if I have $1,000 in and it goes up 12%, I've made 120 bucks. I pull the 120 bucks off, but I allow the $1,000 still, the, you know, whatever, right? So it's 1,200, so it's back down to 1,000, but I've made 120. Now my risk to reward has changed a little bit. It's still, I still have $1,000 in the game, right? But I've made a certain amount because the coin structure is a little higher. So now if it goes back down again, I know that I can either let that 120 that I just sold off be, you know, a little bit of loss there and do all that, and then go back in again with 1,000 once it comes down and retest. Or I could just let it keep going to where I think it's going to go, because where we think it's going to go at that position is further up. So let's grab that Fibonacci tool again. We're going to go back down where we were before. We're going to get to that 0 level right about there, and we wanted to bring it out right around to there. Let's say it's 25th. It's about 5 days, right? We go right about there. So we want this thing to come back up. We want it to test in right about here at that 45 million zone, and that'll give you, if we got it back in there, 38. So that'll give us about 28-30% on our trade value there. But again, this is on ETH coin, so you can short it. You get to a certain point. And this is the other fun part about it, is that you can get to a point where you're coming in, you scalp off your entire trade, you wait for it to bounce off the resistance, which is doing like right now, you know, and then you short it. and it comes back down again. And then what do you do once it hits? You long it. You know, and you just keep doing that as you find something that has, you know, it has liquidity, it has movement, all of it. So pretty cool.
Think think if they added futures to the
Oh my god.
Jupiter exchange on Solana, bro, like
Hmm.
that would be crazy because, well, first of all, the exchange would make so much money, it would be insane because
Yes, it would.
99% of meme coins just rug. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
oh man,
Well, they would have to put a lot of stuff in to kind of protect the consumer as well. You know, because there's you could make money on that stuff. You know, just like you said on just on the rug.
yeah, because there's projects that do this right now where like they'll get on some big exchange, okay, and then they'll pay extra to do futures. They own so much supply that they can just long and short it as much as they want and make as much as they
Hmm.
can doing it. And it's crazy, but it happens every day with every coin.
Yeah. I'm not really putting any filters in. I'm just kind of slapping because I'm just looking for particular like looks and chart. Billion, 1.5 billion. Yeah, the whiff. Holy crapanola.
Bro, I saw Whiff at when I first got into Solana, it was at 200 million
Hmm.
market cap. I saw
I want to
Popcat
know.
at 20 million. I saw the
Is Fist still out
Bowden coin
there? Hmm.
at 20 million before it pumped up. Like I've seen all these coins so low before they
Right.
pumped, and I just didn't buy for whatever reason.
Trump's fist. Was it Trump's fist? Was that one?
Oh, Trump's ear when he got shot that one night, ear went to
Yeah.
like 100 million.
Yeah, I'm looking at fist. I was trying to find fist in there. I don't think. Was it fist? I can't
You
remember.
just passed up a huge meme coin though,
Which one?
Giga Chad.
Giga Chad?
Yeah, that's gonna be the next coin to go to like 2 billion market cap. I'm
Giga
calling it
Chad.
now. I'm
Giga
calling
Chad.
it. It's the big one.
Oh, it's not this one, right?
I think they're at like 120 million or something right now.
Giga.
Giga, yeah, just type that in. It should be the first one.
Oh my God. 208 million. Yeah.
Bro, I saw this. I was telling my friends to buy this at 13 million on the dip, and I didn't even buy any like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what you don't know. You know.
Oh
I go
man.
back to the days. How old
Yeah,
is this thing?
look
7 months.
back in May it dipped to like 13 million.
Yeah,
Check
yeah,
that out.
yeah. 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 This is the point. But yeah, let me tell you, my man. This is some major money going in. Something happened in this day. On the 3rd of May, that changed. It wasn't these. It was this. This was whatever this happened, and this big old candle. That's massive market manipulation happening right there.
Yeah, because
And then
they're
this again.
so
Look at this. Look at this. Look at these candles. These candles. On the 6th of July is. Look at that. That's
what I've
82 to 118. That's 53 million in one candle, and we're on a single day. It's in a single day.
Yeah. So what I've seen with this coin, bro, is
Hmm.
that they do not sell. So they might have low volume for the day, but
Hmm.
like they might have 2 million buy volume, 2 million sell volume, and they're gonna continue to move up just because nobody's selling.
Hmm.
So this could be the next like dog with hat. I mean, if you ask me, I think this is the next dog with hat.
Well, it's sitting at 2 cents right now. You know, 208. That's pretty good. You know, maybe it'll be a next crypto Ronin. Who knows? Giga Chad. Too funny. Too funny.
Yeah, because like it's a meme that even people who aren't into crypto, what they call the normies, can get involved with.
Yeah,
Once
yeah,
it
yeah.
gets on exchanges.
It's Army. Let me look at Army. Ugh. Yeah, figures. Army rugged. You rugged. Oh, I'm on the page right there. Poor Army. I was looking for something to kind of just mess with and trade for a little bit, but I'm pretty tired from the day. It's been one of those long days.
Man, I'm excited for the Crypto Ronin's launch though.
I
Once
know,
that happens,
right?
man.
There's a lot of still stuff that I have to do. You're getting a market cap. Look at that. 0.9 mil. Jeep Soul. This token is mintable. Ooh, yucky. Gringo. Oh, that's cute. 420. It's 420. Let's go, baby. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Lots of fucking volume, man. Look at the volume.
Oh, also, what you could do like a short video of is like comparing like coins that have like a tax on them to coins that don't, and like what does that really mean? Because I honestly don't know as much, but I'm pretty sure it's just tax on every transaction. Is that kind of
Yeah.
how it works?
Yeah, so in I don't even think Sol can have it yet. But ETH and Base and others do. And it's where you have the owner of the coin. I don't even think you have. I think you can have your own coin. You do that, but you're going to pay a certain tax on it, which is like the amount. But the only time that becomes resistant is when you don't get the transaction values. You want a lot of transactions, so you want a lot of movement. So, like on something that has taxation on it, the transactions. This is 569,000 transactions. For the 24-hour period kind of thing. So look at this. Because I didn't know if you knew that. If you go down to 5 minutes, you can see if it's on 24 hours, that's for 24 hours. So you get style in to see how many transactions. In 5 minutes, there were 7,000 transactions. This
Yeah,
thing
when
is,
when these Ethereum memes move, they really move hard because you
this
can't.
is a Soul.
Oh,
This
Solana,
is Solana,
dang.
man. It's third
But
in the
for
fucking list.
Ethereum specifically, the fees are so high that you can't
Mm-hmm.
G $10 worth of coins because you'll end up paying a $25 transaction fee.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because that shit will be dropping. One of the things that you got to do, especially if you go to to a 1 second module and you start like trying to figure out, look at that. Look how fast, look how much stuff has happened. You gotta buy this with a bot. You can't come in a deck screener and be buying this kind of movement, right? You just won't get it. You'll buy all the way up here, and a second later, look at this. Look, a second later, 448, 437. That's 12,000 market cap in a second, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 seconds, and you have dropped 40,000 market cap. Fuck yeah, you're not going to be able to. You're going to buy up here, and the slippage is going to be all the way down here. You would also have to have your slippage set to like 30 fucking percent. So you got to like find this real big balance in between settling for slow moving, not too slow but not too fast kind of thing. So crazy.
Yeah, because there's really cycles to meme coins, and like if you don't catch it on the first run, like let's say you love this meme coin, you love the meme behind the
Mm-hmm.
coin, and you miss the first cycle, just wait for it to flatten out, see what's going on, and then buy in. And then when a second cycle happens, which most coins don't even have a second cycle with meme coins, so it's kind of
Well, they'll have
it's
two cycles, but they won't have a recovery cycle, right? Like let's just talk about it. I mean, that's a good thing to ask, right? So let's look at something like, I don't know. Let's go back to gainers and let's find something on Soul, of course, and let's just say stop. Right, stop. Okay, good. Let's go to this one. This little bad boy's been 1 year, 8 months. Okay, this one's a little bit different to me. I don't know. This is a really long time, right? You might get these kind of recoveries, but yeah, let's find something a little bit younger. Um,
yeah, 1 year, 8 months is crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, hats off to the devs for still
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it.
For sticking with it. Let's just stay in, let's say, a month. Let's do the orc. And let's look. We're on the daily chart, right? Let's go to 4 hour. This will give us a little bit of a marker over a period of time. So the initial pump came in. I mean, listen, 17 million is nothing fucking sneering at, right? This is a good value, but as this first little phase, this is your first cycle right here, right? This is your first level of contention, really strong contention. This is like, I don't think this was a pump fund one, right? No, this is straight. So, you know, you get into this really low liquidity for what they got. I mean, really low fucking transactions as well. So that's why they're probably stalled at this level. But this is that first level of stuff. So from the 4th of July to, the 6th and area, this may be the whole, this whole thing right here. This little part of it. Once they got up to here and they went, we're down this little low bit here, and now we're up into millions. We're up into 5 million. They had, they hit 2 million here. They were probably struggling there. There's a big, this is content. Oh, let me pull this one off. Boom. Let's just scroll right in. We're on a 4-hour. This was a fight, right? Somebody pissed off somebody. You see what I'm saying? That's 1.5 million fucking market cap disappearing in 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? We dropped this down to a 15-minute candle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a fight. Somebody pissed somebody off, and it just happened, right?
Somebody got out.
Right. Somebody, a couple people, maybe one bundled and got out at that point. So I would say that this is the first phase. This is the reclaim phase that happens. And then there's just a massive.
Most meme coins, like what I was saying is most meme coins don't get that. Where after the first pump, they don't have the reclaim phase.
No. And so that's the battle axe. That's what I'm referring to as the battle axe. So in this section, the moment that they started hearing, and watch this, right? I'm going to draw this top line right about here, right there. And I want you to see why when people say, well, meme coin doesn't really follow the rules of price action, the fuck it don't. Once you get to a certain amount and it is just all massive human element buying power and emotion, I could draw fucking circles around people with trading this stuff, right? Because once you get past this, this is your real market trade value, right? And I could track this all the way up. Now, once it gets fucking crazy like this stuff, you gotta slow your roll for a little bit. The moment you get a huge candle like this, get the fuck out. At least burn half your bag and get the fuck out. Because there's things that'll happen at these levels when you get one giant long and this big battle happens here and then it shrinks back. That's 4 million market cap in the space of however long this is a 4-hour candle. So I'd say maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour of time. So 4 million market cap. What is that? At 4 million with say $1,000 in it, how much have you fucking lost at that point? If you got in like at the very beginning, right? Even if you bought in here and this just went up that much, I mean, what would you have gotten? 9 million? Yeah. So you maybe got 10,000 or 100,000 coins at that point. But then as you see what happens to it after that, this big battle, this contention battle that happens here, just drops the coin down to a whole nother level. Now it's still sitting at 9 million, don't get me wrong. But things start to really progress with levels of structure now. And that's important.
Again, I've heard that some of the Chinese traders, what they do is they just switch the candle color. So they only buy on red. Or wait, no, their sell pressure is green, so they buy on that.
Mm-hmm.
To help with the human psychology behind it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is that emotional trading is tough because emotional trading comes from the lack of ability to be able to trade with risk, a plan. You got to have a development of your risk to reward plan has to be down. So how much money do you need to make every time that you put $1 down? Like if I were to bet you $1, right? If I say, okay, you're gonna trade with a single dollar, how much would it be worth? How much would that dollar be worth for you? And how much would you want to make from that dollar if you were going to risk it? Right? If you were never going to see that entire dollar again, how much would you want to make it worth in order to make it worth losing the entire dollar? What do you think that is for you?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna risk $1, if you're gonna risk 100% of your investment, then
Yep.
you should want 100% gain on your investment.
Okay, so that's a 2 to 1, right? So for every dollar so if I risk this, if I put this dollar in the market, I want it now to be worth $2 for me to be able to pull out. Is that what you're saying?
No, no. So what I'm saying is like if you are going to risk 100% of the portfolio, you want to make 100%. But yeah, no, my risk would be like probably I say like 10 to 25%, because then after that I just get too greedy and end up losing money.
So you're saying that, well, let me see. So if you put a dollar in right now and it went up to how much would you want to see this dollar be inside the market right now? You want to see it to get to $2, or how much do you want it to get to?
Well, yeah. So like if, which I mean, I would love to see the dollar go to $100, but as far as like my risk goes, I would rather
I'm not
see
saying
it go
wishful
from.
thinking. What I'm
Yeah, no,
saying,
no, no,
you
no.
know,
What I'm saying is like, if I see my dollar go to $1.25 within a short period of time, then I'll probably take out and try to buy back cheaper and do it over and over again.
okay. So you have a scalper mentality, right? So the dollar to you then is worth 25 cents. That's what it's worth for you,
Yeah,
right? Your 1 to 1 ratio is probably one of the strong is a strong one, but your 2 to 1 risk to reward is the strongest value that there is. So if I every time that I risk this dollar, I have a chance of losing a dollar, but I have a chance on doubling the amount, right? So I'm going to get to not just a 1 to 1 relationship, but there'll be $3 there on a 2 to 1 relationship, right? So the more that you can get in, if I risk a single dollar, I have the potential to make three. You see what I'm saying? So that means that that you'll win $2. You'll make $2 on your dollar. So you'll get your $1, you'll get $3 back. Does that make sense? That two to
yeah,
one ratio is very powerful. I risk $1 to make two. The more that it gets into the 4 and 5, you have to have longer terms involved, right? So the short term is the more money you spend, right? So now we just talked about a dollar. So what would you think about $10 at that point? What would it need to get to? Would it need to get to 30 at that point? And then you got to ask yourself, how much am I willing to lose of that $10 in order for me to go, okay, this isn't working for me, let me pull out. This is where risk to reward ratio kind of helps, but also knowing the plan that I've put this $10 in and I'm prepared to not see it again, right? Because if you pull it out at that time, I'm willing to lose $10. Now, with this market, and that's the beauty part about trading meme coins. If I put in if I buy $10 worth of a coin right now, yes, it can drop down to almost zero, right? You think it could at that point? Yes, right? It could almost be zero. It could be 0.00002, whatever it is, right? On a cent. But you can't go below that. You can't lose anything more than what you've put in. Unlike trading forex or options or other things like that. You see what I'm saying? So you can only lose exactly what you put in. You can't lose anything more, and that's
yeah.
why.
Like yeah, that's what people say. You can only lose 100% of your investment, but you can gain a lot more than that. Like you can
Correct.
make the 300% that we're talking about, or the 1,000%.
Right. So what I try to tell people is that in the very beginning, when you're trying to figure out like what are you prepared to lose, is your first ask. That's what the first thing you have to say. How much am I willing not to invest, but how much am I willing to lose at this one particular trade, and how much could it go back, right? If I feel like let me draw on to this. I'm going to take a little buy sell kind of thing here. Okay, I'm going to take a long position, and I'm going to say that I'm going to start once it got through here, that I'm going to take that relationship and I'm going to bring it up to here because I know where I'm going, right? Because right now, where could the price have gone back to? And the price could have gone back down to here. This is a 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio, right? So I could lose so if it was $10, I could lose my $10, or I can make $10. So when it got up to here, I made 20, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, so buying up there is more like a coin flip. It's like
Correct.
you know, you could lose the 10 or you
Hmm.
could make the 10, but it's just not a trade. Like, is that a trade that you would get into, or would you rather go back to the bottom part of the channel before buying?
And see, that's where the beauty comes in. Watch what happens when I do something like this. That I know that if it pierces this buying pressure here or this support, right? Because it's a support when its price is above its support, I would easily take this into 1/4 of what my risk is at that point. You see? And I would say once it got to here, I'm out. So I still get 75% of my $10 back, but I have the potential to make bajang up here. Even if it does pull back, it won't ever break the deal and it keeps coming back up. Once it tested and came down and came back up again, I would have easily got out the second time that it came back up to test, right? Now, there's things that you can do, as you risk more and you put more in. Once it got up, you could have gotten out with a certain percentage. Once it came back down, you could have bought in more. Once it came back up again, you could have gotten, you see what I'm saying? So you can swing trade this thing or scalp it as you go. But once you get in the mind that this risk to reward ratio, right? Because you could fit 4 of these or 3 of these into this. This is like a 1-to-3, right? Oh, there it is right there. Risk to reward ratio, 3 by 33, right? And that's pretty powerful. Here's a 1-to-1. Here's a 2-to-1, right? This means for every $1 you risk, I can make, $4 at that point. And then there's the 3, and that's probably the best one that's right there for this one particular deal. See what I'm saying? So you have all these availabilities that if you can find the height here. Now you wouldn't have had this information over here, back over here, but I could easily found it this way, right? Like we know that that's a level. That's a psychological level right there. That's happening because it's right there, right? And then we find the
Hmm.
bottom. So here's the bottom here, right? And so we know when there's a bottom and there's a top, there's a what? A mean, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah, because
let's say we
that's
do
kind of
that.
like wait, I can't really see the overall market cap of that token. Like,
It's
what's the
9.8.
high, low, and the mean?
So the high is 1030. So say 10 million. The low is 6 million. Right. So about 4 million in between. So right there is about 8 million. Right.
And
Now,
it's at 9.8 right now.
yeah. So that's
And
all the way over here.
how,
Right.
how's the volume looking at this area? At this, almost at 10 million. It might break. It might not.
Yeah, yeah.
How's the
Well, the
volume
volume
looking?
sucks right now. There's like no volume, right? This is a bad coin to be showing this part of it. But what I'm saying is about the overall value of price structure that's happening over here. Let's say we didn't have all this information yet, and we were just right here, right? We know that if we would have bought in on this bounce right here, and it pierced up through, once you get to about halfway through that section, right? I would have sold off. I would have scalped, right? And the reason being that why I would have scalped the moment that I got halfway through, because if things started to slow down in volume here, right? I would know because look, this is a lower low. This was down here, it came up to here. Once we got to here, I could have tested out and sold off half or what have you. I wouldn't have probably here because we would have lost on this one, right? Because we would have came in and did this. If we would have bought down here, we would have had our risk. We would have done a 130 risk. Oh, it's right there, right? And from here, we would have came up, we would have pierced through. I would have taken first take profit right here, and then left this on. And as it came back down and broke through, I would have taken the rest of it off. I still would have made half of my stuff, you see, because I would have had this line going all the way through. Because once it came through and I take my first take profit, everything else, and then I come back down, I don't break even. I still made 12%. I know it sounds weird, but even in this, once it proves itself and then it kind of falls back through, once it breaks through again, then we know that it's failing, right? And so we don't want it to drop down here because if we would have held it, we would have lost, up to that point. But if you kept it, right, like you're part of the community, it would have recovered. it would have recovered and then some. You see, so scalping off and taking your trades and doing all that stuff and coming back and trading and going with the market and not, and then holding your bag and all that stuff. It really all depends. If you get to certain marks, scalping your money, taking your money. If you don't
So
have
yeah,
any, go ahead.
what's your so for example, how I kind of look at trading is like I feel like, let's say for example, which I just did a trade like this on a coin a few days ago that I told you about. I put in $98.
Mm-hmm.
I was up to like $150, and I ended up just selling the like $103, so it was like $4 in profit and or $4 of profit that I actually took, and then I was in $45 unrealized profit. And at that point, I ended up selling the rest, so I was in like $50 profit. So now, like how I feel about it, like with my psychology, I guess behind it is like now I feel like, okay, I'm gonna only ever enter back with the $45, the house money that I have now, and I feel like there's zero risk because it's all profit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is that kind of how you see it, or no?
No, I do. So let's talk about that for a second. You risked 100, right? It went to what? To you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to.
I bought a coin at 47,000
Mm-hmm.
overall in market cap, and it went to around, what was it, like 75, 80,000 area, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw slower volume, and I ended up selling, but it still went to 110K, and now it's back at like 83,000.
Right. But you risked $100. Right? You said you put like $100 in, right? And then
Yeah.
you, how much money did you pull off at first? The first take profit.
First take profit, I
Mm-hmm.
sold $103 just to get that all the money I put in out.
Okay. So you hold $103 off of it. So and then you left how much in? 100 and something bucks, right?
No, I left in. I had $45, but because I saw the volume slowing down, I took all that out too. So overall profit, I made like 50% on the
Okay.
100.
So you made 50. So it got to $150 or so, and you took out 103, but you left the other left in there, right? So you took off, I'd say 70 or 60 something percent of your trade, right? Or however much it is, 50% of your
Yeah,
trade. So
somewhere
more
around
than
there.
so the point is the money that you left in there was your actual profit. You took the $100 out or whatever it was, and you had actual profit in there of having the chance to go to the moon, right? And that would have been
Yeah.
okay, because but now you have nothing to lose, but you have nothing to gain. Yes, you have it to gain, like it's in there, and it could go to the moon. You could do whatever it is, but you don't have anything in your hand to say this was profit. This is
Yeah, no,
why you
that's
see.
why I ended up because I knew that it was gonna test 100K and come back down. It was just a gut feeling I had, so I ended
Mhm.
up selling the other $45 too. So I made
Right.
$50 profit.
Yeah, you made a total of $50 profit on it because you've had that intuition of movement, right? And you'll see that if you can find that you get an intuition is okay, right? You don't want to get too emotional in trading, but try to
Hmm.
find why that gave you that. Like it was a
Yeah, no,
volume
no, no.
based or
The reason why is because pretty much just other human psychology around the 100K area. I just saw the volume slowing down as it was retesting
Mhm.
100, and it ended up coming back down.
Yeah, and see that's the thing too is we're talking these are all in the millions. These are just gross coins. We shouldn't even be on them actually, to be honest with you, and be looking at them. But the concept's still the same. Let's just say this is 900,000 or 90,000, right? It doesn't really matter at this point because
Hmm.
price action is price action, whether it's at 9 million or what have you. Some move slower, some move more. Like this is only one transaction happening in 5 minutes. They've only had in 24 hours 2,200. In the last hour, they've been sitting here. They've had 88. So you don't get a lot of volume. You do get standard, but when you pull in, I wish I could have something I can write on. I do have a few things. I got to get my tablets out so I can start taking notes again and showing stuff. Um, but the concept here is that if you have movement and you get to 50% profit margin, you pull off 75% of your profit margin, right? Because how much you pulled off? You pulled off. What's that? 150 times 0.075. You know, yeah. So you did right about right. I mean, 75. right? So I would have pulled off $112, $112.50 at that point. The reason being, and I know you were pretty close to that, right? You were only like a couple bucks off, whatever, right? Is because now you have realized profit in your hand. That 12 bucks, I know it sounds stupid, right? But it's like fucking $12. But at $1,000, it's $120. You get what I'm saying? You now have the initial investment in your hand, which now it doesn't matter what that bag does that you have in there. You have no attachment to it whatsoever. You just keep it on. If you know it's going to retest and keep going and going, whatever, right? And you just keep that in there. But then you go back out again at another buying point. You see what I'm saying? And that buying point now, as it drops back down, like so. Let's say if we bought into here at this level right here, and we got into this level. Well, first off, this is a look at that big old candle that happened here. If we would have bought in when this interjected, this would have been like, I don't know. It has to move a lot. So it's 12% is 12%. So it's like 50%. You would have made 50% in this one fucking bar. Like once, if we would have bought down in here, knowing that it was going to come here, this would have shot up, and this would have made us 50% in a single 4-hour period, right? So once we got up to here, we pulled that off, and then it drops back down, and it would take that extra 25 bucks or whatever it was, or that 25%, and allow it to do it again. It would get to 20%, and you would do it again. You would take it off once it hit here again. But in our world of trading, when you have like these lower market caps, it doesn't need to go very far to make the money you have, right? So I always say go in with the idea that you're going to trade to a certain level. Always start with slow, small amounts that you're not afraid to lose. So if you're at that $100 level, if you're crisp enough, you're okay losing the $100. But are you going to lose it? Are you going to put stops on it? Are you going to play that game? You know, where if you've got a relationship with the coin, then keep it in. But if you don't, then cut your loss and go to the next deal. You have to become so systematic with it. So what I do is I get to 50%, I pull 75% off, I take that 12%, 12.5%, and I put it to the fucking side, and I leave that other amount on, that 25% in the bag to either make to the margin, or like if we hit, because here's the thing, right? If we got into here and it came up and it hit, I would have taken the 75% here, right? I would have made my 12 bucks, my 12.50. It would have came back down. It would have went back up again. At that $25 now would have probably been, you know, because it was from down here, that $25 would now probably be worth what, 50 bucks at that point, right?
Bro, look on that chart. Okay, look, if you look to the left on the bottom where it has the volume, stay right there. Look, you can see how like it almost creates the pattern that happens on the chart. Like go left some more where it's like there's two other green candles. Yeah, right there. Where you can see how the volume's going down and the chart follows right after, and we can see on this new formation that I feel like the same thing is going to happen. The volume is slowing up, and it's just going to break down and come back down to the lower area or back to the mean.
Right. Well, this is called gating, right? So this has a nice little up and down gate. You know, this is good volume that's here, right? This is not good volume, right? Because you got forced action with a big old amount of volume that's coming in. Because this is sell, and when you get a wick like this, you know how to read a candle, by the way. On the green candle,
if it's green going up, that's what I know.
Yeah, right. On a green candle, where it starts at is on the bottom, and where it finishes at is on the top. But the wick is how far the potential was during that time, right? So the bigger the wick, the bigger the battle. That means that it got all the way up here with the buyers, and the sellers came in and sold off, right? On a sell candle, it starts at the top, and the bottom of the candle is at the end of the candle is at the bottom. So something that has a long red wick, right? It started up here. It went, but it was probably started off as a green candle and then pulled back down and came down below the price action of the previous candle. So that the sellers ended up winning and going down further past that candle time period on this 4-hour period. But this is
on that chart, there's two of those green wicks that almost create the same top. Do you see that right there?
This one here.
Yeah, so that big candle, and then look to the right.
Yeah, for this one here.
Yeah, like there's two big old green wicks that almost lead to the same high, and then it
Hmm.
comes back to retest 10 million again, over and over again.
Now, here's where things start to get a little fucking crazy, right? Every candle pattern has its own thing as well. After three little soldiers coming up and a spinning top or a doge candle, right? This is a doge candle, meaning, Japanese for cross or death, right? Once this happens, we know that the next several candles, next couple candles are going to be down candles. We can go every single time that we see one of those situations, right? Boom, and then back down. All right, you see it? Price action up
Bro,
green.
three greens equals three reds almost every time. What the heck?
Yeah, but not every time. But there is a pattern. You be careful. You'll start licking windows here in a second, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful minding it, right? Start seeing the patterns. I see eyeballs in it. But you'll see that every doge, every like super doge, like something like that's a spinning top, you're going to get some price action moving down. You'll see it. You'll see it on the bottom too. There's like all these patterns. I have a sheet, and well, I'm going to probably do a video on it anyway when we start doing the other types of trading that we're going to have, reaction trading to patterns, because there's all kinds of patterns. There's flag patterns, there's pennant patterns, bull pennants, descending bull pennants, all just a million of different things to kind of look at. So in the last hour that we've been speaking, we've tested this line here on the 10 million, and at this point, we know that price action or volume is still kind of staying at this little higher at a level, right? So as long as that's still staying, because what's happened, we've now created, here's the one low, another low, no real other low here. This is the high, and now it's coming down in here. So this is a low. And so where would this other low be at? This other low, I would propose, would be somewhere right around in here, right? This is where I think that it would pull back. Once it's popped up to here, the next candle coming up in the next couple of hours, it would come out right about there, or maybe even right about here. Next candle will come up, land in, come back down, and keep going up for a little while. And then finally it'll exhaust out somewhere right around this top area here. We come back tomorrow and this is perfect, then I'm going to Vegas. Let me move over here.
All right. So, do you think so? Off of what you're seeing right now, if we come back tomorrow, do you think this is going to be above 10 million or below?
I think it's going to push above 10 million in this process, and I'll freeze this chart right here because I'll call this the game here
Yeah.
at this
Do
point.
it. Freeze it. Take a screenshot.
Take a
You
little
have me
picture.
for proof.
Download that picture right there. I'm going to send
Good.
that to you. We'll have it right there. Orc on Soul, you mark my words, you little bastard. You better be there.
From what I'm seeing, from the starting trader, the made three successful trades type of guy. I'm thinking we're gonna come back to like 8 million area.
So you think it'll be down over here. So you're calling out a little bit because you feel like we're getting a little less movement in here. So you feel it's going to come in and bounce off and be around 8 million down in this area.
Yeah, probably 8, and then if it can't hold 8, it'll go back to that lower channel to like 7.
I think it may come back up, and if it does come back down to 8 million, it'll be much later. So here's, because remember, this is not tomorrow. So it's, what is this? This is the 21st right now. It's almost the 21st right now, right there, yeah. Right? So here's tomorrow, right? Here's 8 o'clock tomorrow. So it's probably really, and I'm not saying tomorrow, it's probably going to be right here tomorrow, right? And that's the movement. Over this, if it gets all the way to here, because this is on the 26th. This is 6 days. This is a week from now. So our bet is from a week. Okay? I bet you $5 that in a week, I'm calling, this is Mr. Maxx's. Mr. Maxx. And then yours is down here. We got Drew. I keep putting 2 W's on your name. I can't help it. You're so funny. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to go Max right here and Drew down here. We're calling it. Yours is, you're saying, I'm going to draw this in. So you're saying it's going to come up, boom, 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 and it's going to come down. And you're going to be right around 8. I'll even give you the 8 right about there. Is that about right?
Yeah,
You know
yeah. So it's like
You know
So
what's
so
going to
look,
happen now. It's going to do this. Whoop.
sideways in between. Yeah. So look. Here's what I'm saying. It'll
Yeah.
hit 8, and I think if it breaks down from that, it's gonna go back to where like see where that first big candle happened. It's gonna go back down to that area.
Yeah. Oh, this one over here. Yeah, it could be. It could do that. It could withdraw to the original force because this is manipulation. This is massive big wicks are always manipulation in body. Oop, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Especially ones that have like a falling shooting star like this one. That's a major one. That's the bot buying in and selling off so it doesn't get trapped.
Yeah. A Mev bot or a
Yeah,
few of
mid
them.
bot. No, even a volume bot can do that. They can
Oh,
fuck with it a little bit. Yeah. Well, we've been spending too much into the millions. I want to go look for one just like.
Latte. Go look at Latte because that's the coin I was talking about that I traded.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, on that big day when it went from like 80 to 41, I bought
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$10 at 41, and I bought another 90 at 47.
Right. Well, let's look at this because let's take this one off and let's put the new version. We're going to come down to the low. Descending, we're going to come up to the 0. Let me move over some. Grab that bad boy again.
So I was planning on holding it until it tested 100, but I was about to fall asleep, so I ended up just selling early around 75.
Well, here is the descending pennant that it is on right now. And so where this is going to come down is it's going to create so much buying pressure right in this area. And this is where I'm talking about. This, I drew this yesterday from this morning, actually. That
What, close to like 5 area?
Yeah, so in this area right here, it's gonna start to create so much pressure, and if it peaks through, it's going to be. And again, this is like a couple days from now, at where this is going. In fact, we can probably just even adjust this a little bit.
Yeah, trust me. If it goes to 65, I'll for sure put my profit back in that 50. I'll put it back in that area.
And that's the thing, taking that profit, and it's not even really profit. You use the same initial fucking trade mechanics of that $100, putting it back in and doing that. Because that's the real power here. So we have this thing called consistency plus volume equals goal. If you can consistently turn the profit on $100, I'm not talking, oh, I did it once, I could do it again. I'm talking about consistently 20, 30, 40 times, right? That it becomes so snappy. You see it, you're like, oh, that's my move. That's my signature move. That's my signature move, right? If you can do that, then you can add value.
Yeah, because this is a project that I want to get like 1% of, if possible, after a bunch of successful trades.
Well, see, that's the other thing too, is if you don't pull out your entire market on it every single time, you slowly build that 25% up that you're leaving every time. You're making 12%, but 25% is staying in the bag to build your coin value, right? So if it does happen to moon in the middle of the night of some sort of process, then at least you've got some coin in that. Because your job is not just selling coin. If you're going to just sell coins, if you have a relationship with the coin, like you got relationship with Latte, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got relationship with Latte. You build it to build the coin, and you build that 25% up in there to be part of your relationship with the coin. You see what I'm saying? So because that's what's going to take you into the long-term goal of it. While you're still scalping and kind of getting off, you're not getting a lot. You're getting like 12%, right? But you do that 20 times in a day. You find these coins that have the volume, that have the movement, have the availability, then you can get it. But there's not a lot of price action, not a lot of action happening to it, right?
Yeah, because that's like yeah, because this is a coin that we're partnered with long term, and that is something that I would like to hold a bunch of because for obvious reasons.
You see, I didn't put the Fibonacci back on the before time, and we just kind of let this set. Because if I drop this down to the 15-minute zone, you'll start seeing that there's a lot of movement in this area of that golden triangle here. Let me go back here. And you can kind of see that it's bouncing in. I personally feel that if I draw another line here, right here, that this coming down here is going to bring it back up, and it will. This is the true triangle. That's going to be a problem here. This little area right here. So if we can get back up and in, it should come up and be to something to that effect that I'm looking. But again, this is a 15-minute chart, and this will be until tomorrow, or into the next day. So today is Wednesday now because it's past 12 o'clock my time. Um, it should be up around that area at that point. But again, these lower market caps, these are tougher because this is where the
Less
whales,
volume.
a whale could come in and just be like, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been there, seen it in so many
Yeah.
coins. Crazy.
Well, even at other levels, let's look at some of the other coins where we have relationship with. You know, there's Ocean Pepe. Now we know that this is owner mentality, right? These are big, you know. Look at that. Oh, from nothing volume to something. In
Dang,
that process. Yeah.
4,000. Dang.
Yeah, I know. But see, listen, I got to tell you, you know, when I meet people and I talk to them, and nothing against, if you're watching this Ocean Pepe, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, you've been quiet. Your guys went on vacation for 2 weeks. You know, you're in Poland, and there's other people. I know you've been in the chat room and doing other things, but you completely lost contact with some of your builders and your stuff, and you got a game coming out. You have all this stuff coming out, but you have no movement, and you got bots that are attacking your stuff as well. So, you know, volume bots are on, but we're on it. They're off now. It looks like. Who knows?
Dang, yeah, because that's.
But this is a good buy to have if you have some. I have some on it right now. I'm like, I think like 2 million or something to that effect or something.
Were they also launched on pump funds? So the total supply is 1 billion coins.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Ocean Pepe, I have 2.5. So I'm sitting at like $87 right now. Like this thing's got to go. You know, originally because he sort of, I won't say ghosted me, but he sort of put it to a point where he's like, you know, I'm going on vacation. When I get back, then I'll take care of you the rest. He was supposed to give me 1%, and he never did. So, but you know, is what it is.
Yeah, sounds like a Pojak story.
Yeah, once again, right? Listen, there's like, we can talk about that off air, but. All right. Well, I think that's it for me for streaming. Drew, thanks a lot for hanging out with me and being here today.
Of course, man. Thanks for all the training advice. I'm, an okay trader, just trying to get better.
Yeah, you're doing good. You know, you're keeping your own. Track your stuff. Risk only what you're ready to lose and risk. Your risk is not how much that you're willing to throw at the wind, right? Your risk should always be something that doesn't trigger you if you lose it. Like you have no problem losing $20 or $30. If that $100 that you're risking isn't making you go and watching it and sleeping, and figuring it out, then it is what it is. Now, do you manually trade right now, or do you use a bot?
I don't use any bots, so just clicking the buttons.
Yeah. So there's I am looking at BonkBot, doing some training on it, because I do feel that that's a good system to have because you can set profits and takes, and you can walk away, the market could jump up and you miss that opportunity. So I'm going to be doing some manual and then automated trading as well.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that's something that I feel like is good to have on a bot, especially with the lower market cap coins, because they can really move so quick where you can't even click it fast enough to get out or get in.
Exactly. And if you're in scalping, then they're good as well because stuff can do that pretty quickly. Especially when you get an owner who comes in and like boom, and pumps it up. And you know why they do this? It's like so not everybody sells out right away, right? This gets the volume up and sort of tricks people thinking that there's a lot of volume in. But then again, in this one thing,
those MEV bots, that's all they do. They'll buy like, let's say $500, and 2 or 3 people will buy in like $50-$60, and then they'll be able to sell their 500 for like $510.
Yeah, get their
that's all they're doing.
Yeah, just making their 20-30. They're making their cheeseburgers. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, but like, I mean, if these bots are making 1,000 cheeseburgers a day, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of fucking cheeseburgers, baby. All right, let's see here. Let me go back into a Let's Talk. All right, so as everybody knows, we're setting on to this next, I guess, adventure into meme coins, into building relationship with communities. I have found that I'm in the market not for communities, but for people. The people like Drew that's online with us right now, and like Rob that was here with us a little while ago. I'm in that market. I'm farming friends, you could say, right? Because I feel like the more people that I surround myself that are good-hearted and trustworthy and honorable, the better that life will be. And I hope that you all find that opportunity to find your friends in this community and other communities we have. But one thing is for sure, I'm here to make money. So I want to show you how to make money, how to build onto a lot of these things, and just have fun with it as well. I like to laugh and I like to have a good time. Again, Drew, thanks a lot for hanging out. For everybody else, we'll see you next time. And as always, trade well.